G'day viewers, and welcome to episode 4 of Too Tough to Think, Australia's leading online footy news talk panel show where there's only one guy actually on the panel. This week's show is brought to you by the letters A, R, S, M, A and T, and the numbers 1 and 2. Yes, ASMAT 12, Thailand's leading electronic mosquito repellent. This one doesn't go to 11, it goes to 12, offering you, the discerning customer, up to 12 hours protection from flying bugs and mosquitoes of all kinds. So if you've got ants in your pants, you got bugs in your rug, or you just can't be buggered with bugs, get ASMAT on the job. Yes, ASMAT. You know it makes sense. ASMAT. And can I say it again? ASMAT. ASMAT. This week's topic of the week is injuries, the bain-marie of a footballer's life. Recently we saw young Brisbane Lions player Justin Clark sidelined for life at the age of 22, thanks to the demon that is concussion. And just last week we saw St Kilda veteran Nick Riewoldt forced to leave the field for the same reason. Now, concussion is a terrible thing. I should know. I suffered from it dozens of times during my career, and as a result, I now have a severely shortened, short-term memory. It's a common condition among retired footballers, and doctors tell me it's a little bit like having deja vu. But I've heard that before. Seriously though, concussion is a terrible thing. I make a goldfish look like Einstein when it comes to short-term memory. Sometimes I forget things I've just said, and I find myself repeating myself during conversations. This sounds like a terrible condition, but really the only side effect is that sometimes I forget things that I've just said, and I find myself repeating myself to a goldfish during conversations. And this really though is a result of suffering too many concussions during my career as a footballer, which leads me sometimes to have a shortened goldfish or a shortened short-term memory. The only side effect of which is that while I'm having a conversation, usually with a goldfish, I will often forget things that I've said to a goldfish. Concussion. It's a terrible thing for a goldfish to suffer, and in my time, goldfish. ASMAT. The other big injury story this week was, of course, the terrible sight of Robert Merton crashing to the turf in the last minute against Hawthorn and severely injuring his goldfish. His knee. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of the whole footballing world when I say, Robert, we want to see you back on the park again next year, as soon as possible, in fact. He's come back from serious knee injury in the past, and I'm sure he can do it again. Knee reconstructions, they're a terrible thing. I had them all over my body when I was a footballer, and each one of them hurt, especially the one on my shoulder, as this photograph from my private collection demonstrates quite clearly. Robert, we wish you all the best, and we want to see you back on the park as soon as possible. You and your goldfish. This week's viewer letter of the week comes from Ian of Moral Park, and she writes with a blue pen on white paper about her goldfish Trixie and its knee reconstruction. ASMAT. ASMAT.